If you want to learn how to predictably and systematically generate an unlimited amount of referrals in your chiropractic practice, then Thursdays are the Coffee with Dr. Scott show you're not going to want to miss. Over the next 8 weeks, we are going to be showing you, teaching you referral mastery, teaching you how to, like I said, predictably and systematically generate more referrals. And you're going to do it with ease. So make sure you stick around. Come back every Thursday as we go through these 6 C's of referral mastery. Hey, welcome to Coffee, Dr. Scott. Thank you for joining me. We got a fun show today. I almost had a co-host. I want to I'm trying something new on my system here. Let's see if I can do it. Every time I leave this room, as I'm preparing for the show to go fill up my coffee cup, I end up coming back to this. Can you see that? That dog sitting in my chair. No matter when I leave, I come back 3 or 4 seconds later. He's in that chair, and it's tough to get him out. So almost had another co-host. I think you all saw him co-hosting a couple days ago. That's Dax. Anyways, today, like I said, good show with Referral Mastery. Today I'm going to introduce the concept to you. Introduce couple of very key concepts about referral mastery before we really get into the 6 C's, and then I'm going to show you what the 6 C's are, and then week by week I'm going to go through 1 C at a time. I found that the best way to present this referral mastery content. As it says right there, show me some love. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button or even the heart if you're so inclined. And the other part of that scrolling bar, I have decided that I can only give so much in these 10-minute episodes here in the morning. So if you want to dig a little deeper into any of these subjects, perfect case acceptance that we did yesterday, or referral mastery we're doing today, or some of the stuff early in the week, make sure you join the group, High Performance Chiro 2.0. There should be a link down in the comments down below. I'm going to start doing some Q&As in there. So not really me presenting per se, but if there's anything in this morning shows that you want to dig into a little deeper, we can do that in that group over there. All right, first and foremost, what is your current Netflix, Hulu, or Disney Plus, or whatever it is that you watch binge? There's so many of that stuff out there. It used to just be Netflix, right? That's pretty much all we had as far as binging was concerned. But today, what's your current Netflix, Hulu, whatever it is you watch? What's your current binge show? There's a few comments already down below. I saw one that I'd never heard of before. What was that? Pole Dark or something of that nature. I see Hector there says... let's see if I can. I'm playing with these new content also. Let me turn off my volume. There we go. Yep. I got to move that up. Playing with all these new things. I got a picture of my dog. Hector says Seinfeld and Perfect Case Acceptance, which is fantastic. Some of my content. I'm so glad to hear you're getting. I like those being on the same level there. Seinfeld and Perfect Case Acceptance. Let's see. Hunting Nazi Treasure. Haven't heard of that one. I was saying that my wife and I started watching Little Fires Everywhere on Hulu, and she presented it as something we could watch, because when we do watch a show, we like to just watch all the episodes and get them over with. But they came out with 3 episodes last week, so we watched all 3 of them in a couple days. Then all of a sudden it was like you had to wait till last night to get the 4th episode, and now it's week by week. I'm like, really, who watches TV that way? Anyways. So put your current Netflix, Hulu, Disney binge, whether you're watching this live or you're watching it on replay, put that comment down below. That's the cost of watching Coffee with Dr. Scott. 1 thumbs up and a comment. That's all it costs. Pretty good deal, I think. Anyway, so put that in there. Let's get into referral mastery. 2 things I want to make very, very clear before I get into the actual 6 C's of referral mastery. The first thing, when it comes to referrals, that I want everybody to understand is that patients come into your office wanting to refer to you. I want that to sink in a little bit. Every patient that walks into your office wants to refer. That they want to go out and tell their friends about this great new thing they found. They think their friends will like them more. Whether it's a restaurant or their new chiropractor or whatever it is, they want to go out and spread that news. You've got to get that in your mind, because a lot of you think that getting referrals takes you, if I ask 100 chiropractors, how do you get referrals? Or what's the best way to get referrals? They'll always say ask. And I'm going to tell you, you don't have to. Again, chiropractor or patients actually come in wanting to refer. All you got to do is not screw it up. All you've got to do is prove to them that you're not like everybody else. if they come in and they find out that you're just average, you're just mediocre, then they're not going to do the referring thing. But if you can truly impress them, then you will get all the referrals that you could possibly handle. And that's what we're going to be working on through Referral Mastery. So, first point to make, chiropractic or patients want to refer. Now, to address that thing about asking, I will tell you that in certain situations, actually in a lot of situations, asking not only won't help, it could actually hurt. Asking is not the answer. I'll set this up. So let's say our Jeep has a little brake issue. So I'm taking it in today to get it fixed up. Any car shop you go into, if you go in there and you have to wait a long time, and in order to deal with the stuff, and you get in there and then they fix it, but they don't fix it quite right, and you go to pay the bill and it's a little more expensive than you wanted it to be. Are you going to refer to that car shop? No, you're probably not. At the same time, if you go in there and they offer you a beverage when you walk in and they're super sweet to you and they expediently get your information and take care of things and they fix the job, and not only is it as good as you want, it's actually better fixed, and they checked a couple fluids for you and did it for free, and then the cost is very, very reasonable, do they need to ask you for a referral? No, you're most likely going to do it anyways. And that's the point I want to get to you, is that you don't have to ask. In fact, if you give poor service, like that first one I talked about, asking's only going to hurt. They're like, seriously? You did all, this is the way it went, and you think I'm going to refer to you? On the other end of things, if you completely impress them, and you just have great service in the 6 C's that we're about to talk about, you don't have to ask. In that situation, asking is not going to hurt. It can still help. But in the first situation, asking again is something that just puts a bad taste in someone's mouth. So keep those two things in mind. Patients want to refer, and you don't have to ask if you actually do the things that give them what they're looking for. I had a great conversation by email with a new email friend of mine, and we were talking about the fact that this isn't about us. Practice isn't about us, and too many doctors make it about what I call practicism. The practice is about them instead of consumerism, making the practice about your patients, making the patients practice about what they want. If you, in their natural state, and this is kind of going off topic, but in our natural state, most doctors want to conform the practice to them, and they want it to meet them. The hours shrink, the costs go up, and that's not what's good for the patient. But if you make the practice about what it is for the patient, referrals are going to be a natural result of that. And again, you're going to have as many referrals as you could possibly want. So let's get into the 6 C's. And again, I'm just going to introduce them today. I don't know if you hear that drilling, but as I've told you, we've got Chiro Launch headquarters is under construction right now. So there's a guy on a ladder right there. I saw him putting it up, and I was hoping he would wait to 10 minutes. Let's see here. I'm trying to do, there we go. So Sean says, this makes sense. It's easier to forget what that consumer mindset is. I love to refer people to great places. See, we all want to. You see it all the time on Facebook, right? Someone asks, hey, does anybody know a good car shop in our area? And people are like, oh yeah, I love this place. And anybody know a good massage therapist? People love to get on there and refer those things. So know that. 6 C's. Again, I'm trying to keep 8.5 minutes already. We're going to go a little over today. Anyways, the 6 C's of Referral Mastery. The first one is cost. I kind of mentioned to you that a second ago that, if you have to pay more for that care or for that car than you thought you were going to, you're probably not going to refer people to it. But if it's very reasonable and they do a good job, they're going to refer. So cost. A lot of times your prices can hurt your practice, but can also hurt your referrals overall. And again, this series at Thursdays that we're talking about is all going to be about inspiring referrals, generating referrals. And your costs have the big thing to do with it. So next week, we're going to start with that. We're going to talk about your costs and how they affect your referrals. But the one thing I want to tell you right now is that it's not just cost for your exam or your adjustment. It's also total cost. A lot of times you think your prices are reasonable, but then you package something together and you roll it out there, and your patient's out there talking to their friends saying, hey, my chiropractor's great. And the friend is like, oh, yeah, how much does he cost? They're like, oh, it's $4,000. Because they're looking at a package instead of a daily thing. So you got to really be careful and know what your patients are saying about you. Number 2 of the 6 C's is convenience. We talked about it a little bit yesterday when I talked about capacity or hypercapacity. Creating demand, having the capacity to handle that demand, and then perfect case acceptance, being able to convert those patients that come in. That hypercapacity, hyperconvenience is something that, first of all, I love talking about. And I will tell you then, this is a place, again, that you can grow to the size you choose to, but anywhere along the line that you have a bottleneck is what's going to slow you down. So finding hyperconvenience, the ability for your staff to always say yes, to always say we can handle one more, for people just to be able to come in, walk in. When you can develop that kind of practice, you can grow to whatever size you want to. So developing hyperconvenience is another one of the 6 C's of Referral Mastery. The third one is control. And when we get to this one, I'm probably going to refer back to perfect case acceptance, because that's what it means. Is control is about how much control you give to the patient in their own care and how much control you exert, and finding a balance along the continuum of being super assertive or being non-assertive, and finding that balance in the middle that's going to give the patients enough control to make their own decision, but also show them what that decision should be so that they make a good one for their own health. The fourth one is comfort. And this is where I always say we're actually taking an offensive with patients as far as getting referrals is concerned, is comfort. It's those little things I mentioned in the car shop. If they offer you a beverage, if there's a nice place to sit, if there's a place for kids to play, if you handle their paperwork for them, all kinds of things in comfort that we'll talk about, what would that be, 4 weeks from now. But comfort's a good one. It's a fun one. After that, it is compassion. So that is what emanates from you and your staff, is the compassion that you show your patients. If you have true compassion for your patients and it shows, if they can feel it, that's going to get you a lot of referrals. So you got to check your compassion rating there when we get to there. And again, 5 weeks from now, we'll dig really deeply into compassion. And then the 6th C of Referral Mastery is competence. Now, this is in 2 places. This is interpersonal, your communication skills, and it's also clinical. You got to be good. You got to be able to deliver the goods. If you get everything else right, but you don't get people well, you're not going to get a lot of referrals. But if you get the results, you have great clinical competence, but you also have great interpersonal competence, the ability to communicate with people. Even if you're not naturally good at it, if you can develop a few skills to learn how to be good in communication, you're going to inspire a lot more referrals. So, cost, convenience, control, comfort, compassion, and competence, both interpersonal and clinical. Those are our 6 C's that we're going to be developing here over the next 8 weeks of digging in Referral Mastery. So, any questions, comments about that, make sure you leave them in the comments down below. Make sure you answer the question, your current Netflix, Hulu, or Disney Plus binge, or whatever it is. I'm just going to say Netflix binge. Again, if you want to dig any deeper into any of the stuff we worked on yesterday with perfect case acceptance, or here in Referral Mastery, make sure you join the Facebook group. It's scrolling right down there below me, High Performance Chiro 2.0. And coming up tomorrow on the show, let me see if I know how to do this. Hey, yay! Is the recap show. So we're going to go over again the Quit Trying Harder, one of the 14 secrets of high performance chiros that we did on Monday. We're going to talk a little bit more about spring cleaning. We can dig in a little bit. If you have any questions, we can dig with that as far as freeing up your physical space, your digital space, to make sure that you can be more productive during this time. We're going to repeat what we talked about yesterday with the chiropractic practice profit levels. So if there's any questions, we can deal with that. And then we'll kind of go through these 6 C's again one more time before we develop it all again next week. Hey, thanks for joining me. I actually it was a good show. I got a lot of comments down below. I see a lot of people viewing. So thanks for stopping by. Make sure you stop by tomorrow for the recap show and answer the question of the day. Everybody have a great day.